actors who I would feel that those roles were very important for them, and that's what I felt with Clive and with Billy, and the relation between the two real brothers and is in a way they are really close in a way because Michel Papé, who is the Clive's character, is very charismatic, and a lot of bad guys sometimes are very charismatic.
Well, I was turned on in the Crimson and Clover scene. I don't know about anything else.
And Billy has this little fragility, yes, that I found very interesting for the role.
Is there another question from the audience? Yes, just down here in the aisle.
So the book was fiction or nonfiction?
The what?
Was the book fiction or nonfiction?
Fiction or nonfiction? I think you said it's
the book.
Nonfiction.
The book?
Yes,
No,
so
it's not fiction.
It's
not a real
adapted.
story.
Yeah.
The book is a real story.
Sometimes they fictionalize it in the writing.
Yeah, the book was totally real.
How successful was the book?
Not that it was not a big success, but from the book they did a movie, a French movie, and the movie did well, but not like very big. But it was a really good film, and it was very different from the book because they changed a lot of things. And for example, the younger brother was killed at the end. And that's the reason why remaking that film for me, which is totally different and totally another story because it takes place in Brooklyn, not in the same period and everything. And we changed a lot of things with James Gray from the previous film, and we tried to stay closer to the reality.
I'd like to ask you actually what it was like working with James Gray, who's also a director, and I think you feel his mood in here as well, in addition to yours. And what was that collaboration like for you?
That was very interesting for the structure and the writing process, the way he's working, and what was very interesting for me is that he knew very well. He's a New Yorker. I mean, he grew up in Brooklyn, and so it helped me a lot to have this atmosphere of New York. But I didn't have the chance to work a long time with him because we worked like around 3 weeks, 4 weeks together. So after that I had to finish on my own. But everything he gave me was very important for me. Yeah.
Okay, another question just towards the back. Yep.
What's brought me, I mean, what is attract me in that story is this fact that your family and the member of your family, no matter what happens, they will be member of your family, and you know, Billy's character in the movie says blood ain't everything. And I think it's not true, because I think that no matter what, if you have a brother or sister or someone from your family that you want to turn the back to them, no matter what, they will be in your mind, they will be in your head all your life. And you can fight against it, you won't be able to forget it. And those two brothers not knowing how to prove their love and how to be able to love each other is something that I've always found very interesting, and so this subject attracted me a lot, and I was very seduced also by all the other stories in that big story, you know.
Okay, yeah, yes, just on this side. Go ahead.
The time frame, it takes place
book, was the book set 40 years ago, and would it have been a different story now?
The question was about when the book was set, and did this really happen 40 years ago, or was that a choice you made?
So the book was takes place in the 80s, because the story took place was in the 80s when the two brothers Michel and Bruno Pape lived this story. That was in the 80s, and what was the other question? Sorry.
So why did you choose then to set it in the 70s, I guess?
Oh, okay. Because most of the time we say that we have 10 years late after the United States, in France. So I just counted. 80s, 70s.
And also because the 70s just look so much cooler.
Yeah, no. Yeah, that's the... No, because I've always been a huge fan of the 70s. I don't know why, but my favorite color is the orange, and I'm listening to Curtis Mayfield all the time, and all those kind of music, and I've always been a huge fan of music from the 70s, and movies, and I think that was a beautiful period of time for cinema, because we could see some scenes with actors leaving something without having producers and everything saying like, oh, we have to move on, it needs to be very faster, and because we live nowadays in a society of zapping. We zap everything. We don't enjoy anything. I mean, we just look 2 seconds one thing and we zap to another thing, but we don't take the time to leave things. And in that period of time, and in those films, I like the moment sometimes when we could stop for a while on an emotion or something, and that's what I try, in those moments where maybe some people were sleeping. That's what I liked, and that's what I try to do in the film too, is some moment where you can see people leaving something without thinking of the pace and the rhythm of the movie, to be sure that it will fit into the commercials and everything, you see?
We have time for one more question. I'm going to go to the back on the aisle. Yeah.